an insight into scouting, I decided to do a documentary on scouting and the scouting organisation. As I'd looked at in my research, I looked at pre-existing scouting organisation documentaries and short films, and I looked at them, and there wasn't many good ones that showed a unit as a whole. It talked about how the scouting was formed. So I decided to make this short film / documentary, as it allowed me to show off a unit and show off the benefits of joining a unit and being part of this close-knit family that is the scouting organisation. I think this was very beneficial to my work, as by showing off how good a unit is comparing to talking about the scouting organisation as a whole, allowed me to step away from documents that already exist, and it allowed me to show off my ability into making a new aspect and a completely different short film or / documentary on scouting. And I did this, and I believe this is one of the main strengths that allowed me to do so well for this documentary. Other strengths that I have was my ability to use the rule of 3 to frame up the group framed up correctly, and allow me to show off the group as a whole and use the space that we had, the benefits of that in the short film. And it allowed me to show off how interesting it can be by using a small amount of shots, no close-ups and no extreme close-up. It doesn't matter about the lighting, it's just like a raw documentary, and it was shot professionally, but it was very informational and fact-driven, and I filmed everything that I wanted to on the nights that I was filmed, using the shots that I wanted to, which I thought would do the best. Weaknesses, along as it being a strength, one of the main weaknesses was the lack of camera shots. I could have included more, but as I said in my strengths, it allowed me to show off a lot more information, show off the benefits of being in this organisation, and shows off the benefits of being good at teamwork, good at doing badges and all this stuff, because it allowed me to be more basic but show off being more informational as well at the same time. And I believe that was it's both a strength and a weakness, as you would like, as it's best to show off a wide range of different camera shots and lighting, but using the natural lighting and the limited camera shots, like the mid shots and the wide shot, it allowed me to be more back to basics and show off the main benefits of the scout. If I was to do this all over again, I would plan ahead and do the same thing like I did with the permission forms and get permission signed off, but I would do that weeks in advance and decide to film over a set period of time. This would allow me to have more footage to pick from. It would also allow me to show the growth and development of the children over badges and activities. This would have been a great addition to my documentary, the different parts of the group in more detail, but in doing so would make the documentary a lot longer. But that's something that would have been beneficial if I could have filmed over a set period of time and filmed everything, plan ahead and make sure I had everything that I wanted. It would have made the documentary a lot better and it could have been a lot longer. The opportunities that I used to my advantage, like going to St George's Day, being able to film the kids as they went out on a trip to Red House Park, able to film the explorers when they went to Turnberry Park, and it allowed me to show off the community hall and the local community in the parks, and how beneficial it is for the kids and how interesting they are, and how they use the facilities in the local area to benefit their growth and benefit everything they do week in, week out. One of the main threats was the permission forms, because as I filmed under 18-year-olds, you have to get permission, a parent or guardian to grant you permission to film your child and put it on the internet, and that's something that was a large threat, as I would not have been able to film any children unless they did the permission form. But as it was such a large threat, I went to someone that was very high up in scouting in the local area, and he allowed me to film all the children from Beavers, Cubs, Scouts and Explorers, as long as I didn't mention a child's name. If I didn't mention the child's name, I was able to show them in the documentary, as it still is under the safeguarding regulations of the 114 and the 25th in the scouting organisation as a whole. Overall, I do believe that this documentary was a large success, as I was able to show off the 114 and the 25th beaches in a positive way, and allowed me to show off how scouting has grown over the years, comparing it to what old documentaries have, comparing it to old documentaries about scouting and Robert Baden-Powell. This showed off what started off as a few kids on a camp with Robert Baden-Powell has turned into this multi-million children organisation that meets up every week, goes on camps once, twice, 3 times a year, and it shows the transition between the old Cubs and the new Cubs. Even though they're still exactly the same, they still do the same things, it just shows the progression through time and popularity of the movement. If I compare it to other short films that I looked at, like The Victim and How Music Saved My Life and the Smoking short film, it shows those short films had a purpose, and that was to inform the viewer about smoking and how you need to live life to the fullest, and how divorce can affect everyone. And if I compare the popularity and the professionalism of my documentary to the other documentaries I looked at, I did not have the wide range of camera shots or the animation or anything that was super special about my documentary, but the lack of the special effects and the lack of everything else allowed my documentary to be more basic and informational, as I didn't have any special fancy stuff that would distract the viewer. It was just hard facts that showed off how good the 114 is and how good the 25th Beaches is. Thank you very much for watching my documentary, and I hope you enjoyed.